Everybody's okay today? I am once again back on the road. Yep. Uh, I don't know if I got the problem solved or not. Looks like it might still be leaking a bit. I'm going to top the fluid off here. I got into Walmart, got me a grease gun so I can do the universals. That's the major thing. And I'm going to top it off with fluid and drive it another 45 miles to my buddy's house and see what it does on the trip, how much fluid it loses, or if it loses, or what's up. First thing was getting into town and stuff and finding a Walmart so I could grease my drive shaft and stuff. And I just bought a little cheap grease gun. Should be all I need. I only gotta grease a couple of universals. The one that I put in, and while I'm under there I might as well grease the other one. Them puppies. Hi, little one. Hi, little one. This looks like the daddy, but it's black instead of white. Oh, that just made the other one real jealous. Pick me up, pick me up. Oh. Oh, you crying? Is she crying? Speak to me, bark, and I'll pick you up. Say, ruff. Tell me. Say, ruff. No, no crying. Go, ruff. Huh? So you gotta mean it. You gotta say it like you mean it, huh? Aren't you so pretty? Aren't you such a pretty guy? Yo, 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 yo. Howdy, Big Stank. Change the scenery, guys. Change the scenery. I'm no longer at Truck Hinge. That's 10, 15 miles behind me, whatever. I'm no longer at Truck Hinge. I'm at Walmart. I got my little grease gun and hey, Frankie. And I bought another gallon of transmission fluid. I've got a few drops underneath, right out of the same spot before, coming out of the bottom of the transmission dust cover. So once I get over to Doug's, I'll see how much I lose, because I'm going to top it off here. And I'm 45, 50 miles from Doug. So when I get to his place, when I shut down with him, I'll measure it and see how much I lost, if any. But I know it don't have quite enough fluid because it's shifting hard. And it's not on the stick, so hopefully that'll change everything. You know, maybe that's building too much pressure, whatever. But I'm going to bring the fluid up to where it's supposed to be. Hopefully that don't make it leak more. This is probably the one that's going to be mine. The crying little witch. You crying little witch. You need to bark, not cry. Grow up. Huh? Grow up. I might just keep you. You grow up and learn to bark instead of whine. I just might keep you. Yeah. 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 I just put new seals in it, man. I just put new seals in it. So I don't see where tranny seal would do it, you know what I mean? If the new seal didn't do it. Unless, God forbid, that's not a good seal, you know. Yeah, I think it's leaking just the same. And it's shifting hard, but it's low on fluid. So I'm hoping when I bring the fluid levels up to the right level, the shifting won't be as hard. I stopped and put one cord in, and it made it shift a little better, but it's still low. Yeah, it's got about the same amount of fluid on the ground as before I put the seal in. Now, how much fluid it used, I don't know. I put a gallon in it, and it wasn't on the stick. It was shifting, wouldn't go out of first in this, well, it went from first to second, but it would kind of take a second. It would not go to third. And I put another cord in it, and it would go first to second a little bit better, and it would wind way up, and then it would go into third. And you know, once I hit third, it stayed in that. I got to Walmart. Now I'm going to top it off and grease the drive shaft, see what happens. Hey you! Hey you! You keep coming up to the front of the line. Oh, I have it locked in. I had it locked in. No, I felt it lock in, and yeah, that definitely locked in. No, it's My little girl, I told you, learn to bark, not cry. Say, whoop, whoop. You want to get my teeth? Go whoop, whoop. See, that's a crybaby. See, all of them can cry. You want me, baby, you got to start to speak to me. Go whoop, whoop. Okay? Oh, look at them eyes. Look at them eyes. Oh, mwah, mwah, mwah. You're such a sweetie. She closed them eyes like she's listening to me and relaxing. And oh, yeah, her's a sweetheart. You're a little sweetheart. Okay, back to the jungle. But we'll see what happens. Keep an eye out for a 400 transmission, people. God, I don't want to do another transmission job. I really don't. But I'm glad to be out of the dirt and the ticks. I'm definitely happy to be out of the dirt and the ticks. I will not do that again. You know, the whole thing is, nothing inside the bell housing is wet. Nothing inside that bell housing. The torque converter didn't have a drop of fluid on it, nothing. But I figure if it's the seal leaking, it's just coming straight down. But I would think if it's leaking bad, you know, the whirl in there, I would think it would, you know, swirl things around. I don't know. No, Joe, I've got 8 puppies. Growing MO Flower, how you doing? Are you talking about Missouri Flower? That's where I'm headed today, Missouri. I'm headed over to Misery today. There's 2 of them. That's 2 of them. Yeah, that's 2 of them. There's another one. Oh, hey, Joy. Oh, oh, they're not ready to get rid of yet, and when they are, there'll be a rehoming fee of $142. But they're not ready. They're only 5 weeks old. Another 3 weeks before I even consider cutting loose with any of them. Ain't that right, babies? No, Frankie, I forgot about that. I'm getting ready to go back in Walmart and get one. How much was that one you bought? We'll do. Oh, I come there over the last 11 years. I come there many a time before y'all even had legal pot there. Google my name. There's hundreds of stories about me. Most of them are true. Sure you will. Well, you wait 3 weeks and then you send that 300 and I'll ship it to you. Will, the in question, I might have missed a comment. What's up? Oh, the one that has 19 bucks? Yeah, I'll go in here and buy that. I'll probably just pay cash. That way, if I return it, I get cash back. Best I can tell, it's dripping off of the dust cover pan. And I got a hole cut in the bottom of the dust cover pan. You may have seen that in the video. So I could get underneath there and just advance the flywheel without taking that down when I was having trouble with the starter. So the very bottom of it is a hole. And that's where it drips out of. But the inside of that cover, there's no leak, no nothing on the inside of that cover really. It may have gotten impacted when it come down that first time. Hopefully it's no worse, and I mean it's not puking it out that I can tell. I think only when running. But no matter, heck, I got a couple of friends over in Missouri. Doug, I don't know if I could do it in his back of his house or not, but Weasel Weasel owns property not too far away, I hear. You know, so I don't want to do it again at all. But if I got to, you know, I have no choice. No, it's not slipping. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm just going to babysit it, see how much fluid it takes. You know, between here and Doug's, that, you know, that'd be 40, 45 miles. Say 50, you know, the roundabout way. There ain't nothing else I can do. I don't think putting transmission seal in it's going to help. I think that might plug up the rest of the transmission. I don't know. What do you think on transmission seal garbage? Nope. Nope. I did not wipe it down and inspect it. Bro, I popped the torque converter off. I popped the seal out. I popped the new seal on. I put the torque converter back in and I put it back up. That was it. I didn't see any other seal or anything, you know. I'm not a transmission guy. I know how to R&R them, remove them and replace them, not repair. And that's just being honest. Grab it. Woo! 79 cents. I've been wanting to get me a little funnel for that damn transmission. Hey, and if I get stranded again, I'd rather get stranded over in, damn, they put a theft thing on a 79-cent funnel. Check that out. It cost them more to make these on a 79-cent funnel. Damn. Isn't that something? Well, yeah, I seen the bolts in a circle. But you didn't say take that apart, look at it, or anything like that. You told me replace the front and rear seal. And that's what I did. Not blaming it on you, brother, or not, you know. I thought it was the front seal. So I didn't know to go any farther because, like I say, I'm not a transmission guy. Had you said, did you check the pump seal, or how did the pump seal, or something like that, I could have backed up, I guess. I think the pump's working damn good to sling the fluid back in, you know, to the torque converter, you know, and for it to be shifting and not be full. So I think the pump's good. It may be leaking, but I think it's good. I don't know. Maybe when I top it off with transmission fluid, it's going to leak more or less. I don't know. Hell, it may take another gallon I may have leaked a gallon out coming here. I have no idea. When I drove up and down the driveway at Truck Hinge, I didn't see like a little trail or anything like that. And that's how I checked it. I drove forward, then I backed up and I looked out in front of me, and there was no like drip, drip, drip or trail or nothing. Tranny honey-gum. I've never heard of it. Yeah, no. The torque converter locked in both times when I pushed it up and in. Yep. I was careful to do that. Even when it had the transmission line behind it, it was locked in. I had to bring it so I could get the line out, and then it went back in another ½ inch, you know. So, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, I've got just a little bit of the Delta 9 left that I'm smoking, because I'm going to make lunch, hang out, do my drive shaft, have lunch and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy a little one right now. Then I'm going to do the work that I got to do and everything, and here in a little while I'll be in Missouri. When I get over there, I'm pretty sure my friend or one of his friends, someone will come by and fire one up with 420 Jim. Damn it, Mon. Hey, I got 7 people here. Hey, if you don't think people belong in jail for that plant, for weed, in the description of this video is a link. Click on that or go to 420jim.com. Please click on the petition, sign it, and get someone else to sign today. Get 10,000 signatures. First 1,000 is the hardest, so help me get them. After that, it'll get easier and easier. Once we get 10,000, I'll pull permits to hold the Washington, D.C. march, and we'll get this shit done. But I need your signature. I need your friend's signature. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. No one belongs in jail for weed. If that's their only charge, they need to be let out. And while subscriptions are going up, right on, they need to be let out. We need our federal gun rights back. It needs to come out of a narcotic classification, because there is no narcotic in it. Never has been. The only reason they can call it a drug is because it does cause a little euphorium. But alcohol and all this other man-made stuff is 100% more times worse than the euphoria that cannabis causes. Take it from someone that knows. Yeah, I thought that was funny. A day or two before I got the RV running and I hit 600 subscribers, they're trying to spread rumors that I was defeated, the mission's over, they won. Kind of funny, huh? Yeah, big stank. See, all that's wrong. Nobody belongs in prison for weed. I mean, come on now. And even Trump, all of them, Obama, Trump, Biden, all of them have been fucking around with the American people for 10 years now. Well, 11, ever since I got on the road. You know, I thought Trump was going to, I actually thought Obama would do it before he left office. If he had done it, Trump wouldn't have won that year. But, hey, Trump won. And I thought, hey, here's a guy that's going to do it. You know, go over America, good Christian and all. Fake Christian, that's all, fake Christian. He would fight to have it legal if he wasn't a fake Christian. He's assuming people are going to smoke it, which ain't going to do no harm, but it was in the anointing oil. Don't tell me that you're a brother in Christ, you believe in Christ and stuff, if you don't even believe in the Bible. But you got to get out of the King James on some things. You go to the Hebrew Bible, which we can prove was wrote before the King James. It tells you that cannabis, marijuana, was in the anointing oil. So if you want to be part of a presidency, especially the top dog, and keep away one of the most beneficial plants that our creator that you say you love, I say bullshit. But see, he could be uneducated on it. You know? He could be uneducated, but it's really easy. I challenge Mr. Trump to open up the Hebrew Bible, have it translated or whatever, and look up the anointing oil. Okay? It was just made to imprison people and keep us from hemp fuel, hemp paper, hemp clothing, hemp food. Cannabis is the most beneficial plant on earth. Every part of that plant can be used. Every part of it. These people growing for just, you know, profit on the buds with the mega one, man, they waste so much, and a lot of that shit gets destroyed when it can, every bit of it can be used. There's no people that I've heard of, you know, they'd be really good big recycling places. Go get them stems and see, you know, all that stuff. Every bit of that plant is usable. Before back in the 1930s, all of our paints and oils and all that shit was made of hemp oil. Hemp clothing, hemp paper. Henry Ford built the hemp car. The body was made of hemp. Straw, basil, and resin, 10 times stronger than steel, 1,000 pounds lighter, and run on marijuana. So, it's time they just stop all the lies. So, every time I hear how people say, well, he's a Christian, they tell me that about Kevin Copeland. And I said, nope, those are devils in disguise, you know. They tell you they love God and they believe in Jesus and whatnot, but they're devils. Tell by their actions. Tell by their actions. They don't care about us. They don't care about the Constitution. You know why I say that? Because the Constitution plainly states, and why should the Constitution state it? In our own minds, we should know this. No man whatsoever should write any law governing your religious beliefs. Not mine, yours. Of course, I have mine, so mine's covered. Mine isn't an off-the-wall, lefty, la-di-da, this, that, and the other type religion that someone made up or whatever, you know? Mine is what this country supposedly was founded on. That's what I was taught as a kid and all. You know what? Just like the fact they try and tell me I'm on a spinning ball. It's all lies. I used to run a ride called the Gravitron. I sat in the center 12, 13, 14 hours a day, spinning around, watching 45 other people spin with me in a big centrifuge. Yeah. Well, you know, no freaking spinning ball. Ain't nobody can sell me that dog and pony show. And you don't believe me, you just go ride the Gravitron a few times. You'll figure it out. They can't admit it. You know how much money we'd save if NASA would quit trying to break the firmament and shooting these rockets off? And they're the biggest user of helium. All these satellites are helium. The rockets are made to try and mess with the firmament. They've done that since way back. Look up Operation Fishbowl and stuff. I mean, it's crazy. It's literally freaking crazy, man. Hey, 214 signs. Hey, that's not bad. It's not great. It's not great, but you know what? It's good. Oh, hey, you know, it's not just my passion, my friend. This journey that started March 1st of 2014, taking me coast to coast, 36 states, first Mount Rushmore event ever done on cannabis. I held the permit for. I marched on DC when Obama was in office. All of that, you know, led me to being saved. See, people used to pick on me because I had one green cross on each side of my RV. Just one. It was green. So I figured, you know, I didn't think nobody would want to, you know, pick on me about, how dare you put a cross on your marijuana van and shit like that. I'm like, man, Colorado had all adopted a green cross. Just like the Red Cross, you know, for them. I said, for cannabis. I didn't do nothing, you know. Why ain't you bitching at them, you know? But it started happening a little more and more and this, that, and the other, and I had to, well, I didn't have to. My remedy was open the damn Bible and see what it's all about. And when I started reading that first chapter about how he gave me, he gave me every herb-bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth and every tree. Okay? That's what we was taught. That's what we believe in. That's what I believe in and whatnot. So if you don't believe in that very first chapter, why the hell you read the Bible and continue on? You know? That's why we're told to study the Bible and stuff, because man's going to lie the hell out of you. This world belongs to Satan. Satan runs this world. Not God. Satan runs this world. He can only do what God will let him, but he can do a lot of stuff. So now, this has brought me to where last year I got saved, not just saved, I've been saved for years, but I got baptized last year. A predicament I got in and everything. When I come out smelling like roses. Long story. But it was great. I ended up getting baptized and all. And I hand these little figurines out everywhere I go. I remind people that everybody needs a little Jesus. Now, can't we all just get a bong? And please, screenshot, scan that petition. Or you can do it here at 420gym.com. Hey, I'll look at comments in a minute. When I'm outside, my phone blackens to where I can't see the screen. That's how you spell my name. If you want to look me up on Facebook, FOURTWNTYJIM. Once again, you want to find me on Facebook. And if you want to send $1 or $2 for gas, feel free to. Because it does cost to keep this mobile billboard on the road and traveling and fighting for our federal rights. I can't do it all by myself. Thank goodness I got a few friends that chip in along the way and have helped. But most of my friends will tell you I chip in everything I can. So, and together we can win. I mean, heck, look this last weekend I did a $1,500 transmission job to keep her on the road. What do you mean, what's my name? I told you, I showed you on the front of the vehicle. 4 is my first name. It used to be that my name was Jim. My first name back in 2014 when I started all this, when 2013 when I got arrested for the pot charges that they found me incompetent to stand trial for because they can't prove what narcotics in it. My name used to be Jim back then. Hang on, let me read this, see if I didn't miss none, and then we get back to that. Well, I keep saying, what's your name? What's your name? Joe, what are you, one of the trolls? Why do you keep saying, what's your name? What's your name? Before I even went out there and looked. Anyhow, hey, hang on one sec. July 8th. On July 8th of 2019, in Kingston, Tennessee, I went in front of a judge and said, hey, Your Honor, can you make my first name, which used to be Jim, into my last name? And he says, yeah, I can do that. And I says, well, he says, do you want a middle name? And I said, yeah, I'd like a middle name. And he said, what would you like it to be? And I said, how about 20? And he said, I can do that. And you want your last name to be Jim? And I said, yes, sir. And on July 8th of 2019, my legal name became 420 Jim. Get over it. See how it's big and bold on top? The Jim, that means your last name. First name 4, middle name 20, last name Jim. See, I don't just walk the walk or talk the talk. I do the walking. I walk the walk. If you'd been following me 2 years ago, I sued Walmart. 420 Jim versus Walmart. Yep, got the court papers and all. My name's 420 Jim. And guess what? I won. So, what? You said real name. What do you got to say now? What you got to say now? How about my bad? That's all right. See, the reason I say it sounds like a troll is because only trolls don't like my name. Most people love my name. Most people can just go to Google and type it in and find out that is my legal name. It's been in newspapers and on TV and, you know. Nobody belongs in jail for weed, man. I was out 10 years ago. I went to jail 11. Well, it was back in 2013. I was busted helping a guy get a couple grams 2 different times. Just helping him. Called a friend up. I went from this truck to that truck. I didn't get a dollar, didn't even get a bud. Didn't sniff it. 2 days I did that. Well, 3 weeks later, marshals come and arrest me for the undercovers, and I went to jail for 2 counts of sales of marijuana. They told me if I snitched out and helped them, that all went away. 3 people. That ain't going to happen. Book me. And they did. And the first public pretender, we got in front of the judge because I told him, I says, hey, you took an oath to represent me zealously, right? And he looked at me kind of funny, me knowing that word. And he said, yeah. And I said, the state's got to prove all points of their case, right? And he said, yeah. I said, all I want him to do is to prove to my jury what narcotic is in marijuana. I want the state to bring in their best chemists to prove what narcotic is in marijuana. Hey, Michelle. And then I get to bring in an expert that's going to prove there's not. One of us is right? We get in front of that judge, and This attorney says, Your Honor, I'd like to recuse myself from this case. And the judge didn't ask him why or anything like that. He just looks at me and says, we have to reschedule your case. Oh, they're going good. They're going good. I'm just taking a lunch, and then I'm going to go head to Doug's. Damn, now I got off and forgot where I was at. That's what happens when you tell so many stories and you answer someone's questions. Okay, brain fart. Oh, anyhow, so the judge tells me that I got to go back and re-sign up with the public defender's office. Hang on, if I get cut off, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Hi, how you doing? So, back to the story, I guess. Let me remember where I was at. Yeah. So he tells me I got to go down and sign up for a new public defender. So now I'm down there at the public defender's office signing up. I talked to the guy and tell him the same thing that I did the first one, the one that recused himself. And he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, oh, yeah, no problem. So I thought the next day when we had court that he was going to plead not guilty, ask for a jury trial, you know. But instead, he starts talking about drug court, probation, and stupid shit like that. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Who is this? And the judge says, he's your attorney. Oh, no, he ain't. No, he ain't. I said, this ain't the guy I talked to yesterday. Nothing I agreed to or said. And he says, well, you can fire this attorney. And I'm like, well, he's fired, Your Honor. Nothing this man says I agree with. And he said, well, once again, you got to go see the public defender. They tried to trick me. They sent me to a private attorney's office. He was a public defender, but he also had a private practice. But he was public defender and working under public defender when I went to see him. His name was Cosmo Repo. Little voice in my head told me to turn my phone on record. You know, that very seldom ever happened in my life. And it was just as clear as day. And I did. What have I got to lose? Turn on record, I put it in my pocket. I'm in the waiting room. 5 minutes later, Cosmo calls me into his office. I wasn't in that room 2 minutes, I don't think. He lets me sit down and he says, hey, look, you pissed someone off. You're going to do DOC, Department of Corrections. And I found that out, you know, when I looked it up. I'm not calling evidence or witnesses. I'll see you in court. Get out of my office. That was my new attorney. I was so happy that that little voice told me to turn my phone on. I couldn't wait to get home and burn it on the CDs and make sure that I, you know, sure enough. So I drive back up to the public defender's office after lunch. I signed back in like I did the days before. And, you know, I'd been trying all week to talk to the head of the public defender. He wouldn't talk to me. I wasn't there 5 minutes because I told him you got 15 minutes for someone to talk to me or I'm putting this on the internet. It wasn't 5 minutes. The door opens and here's the head of the public pretender's office. Lo and behold, he was there and he talked to me. He comes out and he says, we got a problem. Hey, Ray, what's up? I said, what, you got a mouse in your pocket? What do you mean, we? I don't have no problems. You have a problem. What are you going to do about it? Oh, we can't do nothing. We got to hire private counsel. I'm like, well, I thought that's what Cosmo was. Oh, no, he works for the public defender. Really? Do you have Eric Marlowe? I had talked to an attorney a month before that said for $5,000 cash, he would get me off without doing probation, drug court, or anything. He would get me off for $5,000 cash. I didn't have it. But that name came into mind when I'm talking in court, or not court, to the public defender there, the head of the public defender. And I said, do you have Eric Marlowe? And he said, I don't know who's in the pool. They'll call you and let you know who your attorney is. I'm like, okay. I get home and whatnot, and right before 5 o'clock closing, the phone rings, and it's a lady from the public pretender's office, and she says, Mr. Port, you need to get a hold of Eric Marlowe. He's your new attorney, and they're expecting your call to set up an appointment. And I'm like, really? Okay. So of course I called, and they tell me the next day. I go in, and Eric's like, what's up? And I'm like, what's up? And he's like, hey, I don't care who pays me. I'm getting paid. So I don't care if it's you, them, who pays me, whatever. What do you want to do? And I said the same thing I told you. I wanted to go to trial and for them to prove what narcotic is in marijuana. I want a jury trial. I want to be able to bring in someone and state there is none. I want them to come in and declare and prove what narcotic's in it. Well, yeah, well, we can do that, this, that, and the other, and whatnot. It's, sounds like the way to go. We'll set up the hearing and plead not guilty and jury trial, and we get working on this. And I'm like, thank you. The next day, I get a phone call. And he says, hey, don't blow up, don't hang up or nothing until you hear everything. Well, come on, that's not just putting a loaded pistol next to your head. That's actually pulling it back and chambering one, just on the edge. Because you're really waiting for what the hell's, he's going to say. And it blew me away. It did. And of course, I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And he calmed me back down. But he tells me that the state wants to do an evaluation on me. Yeah. They didn't think that I was competent enough to stand trial. Now, if you ever looked at my history in Albuquerque and whatnot, I've had a half dozen tickets and beat every one of them. Even a cop tried to get me for littering, and I even beat it. So, for them to say that they wanted to try and prove I was incompetent, I'm like, da, da, da. And he calms me down. And he says, whoa, wait a minute. He said, you sound like you're very passionate about this marijuana thing. And I'm like, yeah, man, here in Farmington, New Mexico, I can't smoke. I go 30 minutes away. I can smoke right downtown in Durango, Colorado. I can go over there and work and everything. Come home and get busted for the same thing. These cops set me up. Hell yeah, somebody needs to do something about it, blah, 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 blah. And he said, well, man, this might be your chance. You got to get out of jail free card for a year if you go along with this, and they do it. And I'm like, what? Now he had my attention. You ever wonder how someone can keep doing things and they seem to be right back out on the street? That's that get out of jail free card type thing. Most of them are snitches or whatever. Well, there's other ways to get a get out of jail free card for a year, and I found out how. He said, I asked him, I said, what do you mean? He said, well, let's say that they do an evaluation on you and they find you incompetent to stand trial. They can only do that once a year. So if you went to Walmart and stole a TV, some groceries or whatever, and proceeded to steal them and got caught and arrested, the judge is just going to kick you out the next day. As soon as you see the judge, you're going to be kicked out because you're incompetent to stand trial, and they can't do another hearing for a year. unless it involves violence. If it involves any type of violence, if they can put violence in there in any way, shape, or form, that contradicts it. And I'm like, what? And he said, well, if you hit somebody on the way out or trip somebody or whatever, any, physical contact with someone that could be construed as violence, you will be held into jail. And I'm like, really? And he said, I'm just asking you to think about it. Just don't, at least think about it for a little bit till tomorrow and let me know then. And I'm like, okay, I'll think about it. And I went home and I told my girlfriend, Leslie, back at the time, about it and all. I woke up the next morning and I called him and I said, yo, man, yeah, you're my lawyer. If you think this is a good thing and you want me to do this, I think I'm game. I'll go along with whatever you and them want, I'm not going to try and fake nothing or anything. I'll go answer their questions, do whatever you want. And he's okay. And they set it up for like 2 days later. I went to a probation department, but it was a MD, whatever. And I was in there an hour. Puzzles, ink, you name it. Question, answers, this, that, and other. When everything come to said and done, I was found incompetent to stand trial. And he wrote a paper saying that I smoke pot so I don't kill people. Damn, courts can get it right for once, can't they? I'm so proud of that paper in the New Mexico courts that says it. But they found me incompetent to stand trial. Now, I had just beat AA insurance and another insurance on an accident. I filed a motion I was my own attorney, pro se, in that accident. I won a $10,000 judgment, but before I did, I filed a motion for the judge to shit or get off the pot. Just to show you my incompetency. But yeah, they found me incompetent to stand trial. And, I had my vision and whatnot, and March 1st of 2013, I scraped all the decals off the motorhome because I sold decals at the flea market, and I repainted it and put pot stickers and a cross on it, and the rest is history. The rest is history. 11 years of history now. Damn. Well, any last questions, comments, or concerns? I could go on and on, but I really want to get out of here, get my lunch done, my grease done, all this crap, and then here in another couple hours, I can hit the road and go visit my friend and be over in Misery. Oh, and Mr. Ray, if you didn't hear, I'm on the road again. I'm about, I don't know, 15, 20 miles towards. Yeah, it's still leaking a little bit. It could be the pump seal, I guess. I didn't know about checking that or anything, but like Will says, as long as I keep it full and all, and it don't get hot, probably won't hurt nothing. No, I don't think it's the front seal leaking. It could be the pump seal, according to Will. I don't know. I really need to get underneath there and clean it all down, be on, a nice dirt area that don't have ticks and stuff, or concrete or asphalt. Oh, I'd have to drop the transmission back down, Ray. I have to re-drop it down. But I did learn from that experience. You know, now if I had good weather and was on good ground and stuff and didn't, you know, fighting the ticks and everything, it would have been as bad. And well, I don't know if honey gum's good for the tranny or not. See, I'd hate to wipe out my tranny when all I got to do is drop it again and change another seal. It is a lot of work and everything, but hey, you know, I've got it down, getting it down to science. Yeah, that's what I figured. A lot of them additives are pure garbage. If you want to sell something, get rid of it. Yeah. Put sawdust. I mean, people put all kinds of shit to, yeah. Yeah, it'd probably make it run hot. There you go. Hey, let me get out of here, my friends. Let's see what happens. I mean, I've been 25 miles. I've only got another 45 to go. So, you know, and I've got enough fluid to top it off. If it takes another whole gallon, I'm going to be like, damn. You know? I think it's still 1, maybe 2 quarts low. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't want to add nothing until I get over by Doug's, figure out a place that I can do this at, and maybe, you know, relook at it, whatever. Do it in the middle of a rainy field and whatnot. Yeah, it just, yeah. Hey, I tried. Good practice, right? Well, catch me tonight at 7 here on YouTube, and catch me at 4:20 on Facebook. I'll be damned. Right on, big stank, you too. Hey, peace, love, and cannabis for all. One team, one dream, united we stand. If we try, we can all get along. My dogs love you, I love you, Jesus loves you. Peace.